Good morning, my dear loving children, and welcome back to Vidyanagar Public School's online class. Today, we will continue the chapter Loki Causes Trouble. I hope you remember the story. Do you remember? Yes. Where we stopped? We stopped where Broker is also made certain weapons out of gold and metal and iron, right? And he is taking it all to the gods, right? Yes. See, he is carrying all these weapons, the three things: the bear, the bear, and one hammer, and what else? Yes, a shining ring, right? Yes, all these three things he is taking to the goats, and Sindri is asking Broker to take off Loki's head, bring Loki's head back. When you come back, take Loki's head. That's what Sindri is saying to Broker, right? There we stop, and let's see what's going to happen next. Broker started off with the golden bowl, the shining ring, and the terrible hammer. These are the three things, right? Yes. When he entered the palace of gods, entered the palace of gods. He saw that the gods were waiting, taking their seats on their shining thrones. They chose Odin, Thor, and Freya to judge between Loki and Broker. Who is going to judge between Loki and the Broker? Odin and Freya. And Odin, who is Odin? He is a chief of the Norse gods and is the god of war, death, wisdom, and poetry. Thor is his eldest son. Who is Thor then? Yes, Odin's eldest son. And Freya, who is Freya? Freya, she is one of the most important Norse gods. She is the god of love, beauty, war, and death. Right? Yes. So these two gods, Odin and Freya, is going to judge between Broker and Loki. Then Loki brought out a spear which never misses its mark and gave it to Odin. He gave the golden hair to Thor, who placed it on Sif's hair. Straightway it began to grow like any other hair. Freya, he gave a marvelous ship which always found a breeze to drive it wherever its master would go, and which could be folded up and carried in one's pocket. Then Loki laughed scornfully. So what's happening in this paragraph? Yes, Loki is explaining or showing the weapons that he brought, and he is placing it in front of the gods, and he is laughing scornfully. What do you mean by scornfully? Yes, with kind of disgust and with no respect, he is smiling, right? Yes. Bring out the trinkets which that wonderful brother of yours has made, he said. Loki is saying that bring out the trinkets. Trinkets means silly things, not of values. It is very valueless things. As like he is saying, who is saying? Loki is saying. Broker came forward and stood before the gods with his treasures. This ring, he said, handing to the Odin, on every ninth night will create 8 other rings as pure and heavy as itself. This boar, he said, giving it to Freya, will run more quickly in the air and on the sea by night or by day than the swiftest horse. No night will be so dark, no world so gloomy that the shining of these bristles shall not make it as bright as day. And this hammer, he said, placing it on Thor's hands, shall never fail, no matter how big nor how hard that which it smites be. And no matter how far it is thrown, it will always return to your hand, and you may take it so small that it can be hidden in your bosom, and its only fault is the shortness of its handle. So Broker is also displaying the things that he brought, and he is showing all these things in front of him. What is special about his things? Yes, he has brought a ring. On every eighth day, it will multiply, or it will get eight other more rings also will come, right? Yes. And about the boar, it is actually the fastest, and it is faster than the um, swiftest horses. Swift means the fastness, okay? Fast. And about the hammer also he is explaining, right? Yes. Thor swung it around his head, and lightning flashed through the palace, and deep peals of thunder rolled through the sky. The gods gathered around and passed the hammer from one to other, saying that it would be their greatest protection against their enemies. They declared that Broker had won the wager. So everyone is saying that this hammer is very, very powerful, and it's quite unique, and this is going to help them against the attack of enemies that they are saying, and they are declaring and saying that. So in this wager, who is the winner? Yes, Broker is going to win. That's what they are all saying. Broker was delighted to have beaten the bossful Loki, but how was he to claim his prize? Broker thought a moment. I will take Loki's head, he said finally. So Loki's head is going to be taken by whom? Yes, Broker. So Broker got very much delighted that he won the game, or he won the bet. That's what he is feeling, and so he is thinking how was he to claim his prize, how he is going to take his head. That's what he is thinking. Well then, take it, shouted Loki. You may cut off my head, but you have no right to touch my neck. That was true, and of course the head could not be taken off without touching the neck. So Broker had to give up the return to his brother. So he is saying that you can take my head, but you should not even touch my neck. Is it possible? Isn't it? Do you think is it possible? No, we cannot cut our head, or we cannot take our head without touching the neck, right? Because it's closely connected to our neck. So Broker had to give up his bet, and he has to return back. He has to return to his smithy, right? Yes, to his brother. The gods were grateful to Loki, though he had played some tricks and caused trouble. He had made up for it by bringing them many wonderful gifts, including the most amazing gift of all, Thor's mighty hammer. Thor's hammer was magic, and it could bring peace to the world. So all gods was so much happy of Loki's deeds. We can think what Loki has done. They are happy with that, and though Loki has done something which is not in a right way, not in a straight way, but gods are okay with that because they have got so many gifts, right? And it is said that a most valuable among them is that hammer, because the hammer is so powerful that it is something magical in nature, and it has magical power, and it can bring peace to the world. That's what it is saying. So this is how the story is getting its end. So you must read the chapter twice, and those who have not completed writing the answers in the back of the text, please complete it. Okay, so we will see in the live session. Till then, take care. Do read. Okay, everyone should read before the live class. Okay.